So how do you win when you are completely, hopelessly outmatched, when all logic says you're doomed? Well, today we're going to unpack one of history's greatest underdog victories to find a timeless strategy for turning impossible odds in your favor. Let's dive right in.
Just look at these numbers. Seriously. On one side, you've got the English army, a mere 6,000 men, and they are exhausted, starving, and sick. On the other side, the French, a force of somewhere between 12,000 and 30,000, fresh, confident, and fighting on their home turf. This isn't just a battle. On paper, this is an execution.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 1415. King Henry V of England and his army are in a really bad spot. They've been marching for weeks through enemy territory in France, and the whole campaign is just falling apart at the seams.
And the disadvantage was absolutely staggering. I mean, they weren't just outnumbered, they were trapped. They were weak with dysentery and hunger, and they were staring down an enemy that was rested, well-fed, and totally ready for a glorious, easy victory. Every single sign pointed to a complete and total catastrophe.
By all conventional wisdom, the English should have just surrendered. I mean, that was the logical move. But Henry V wasn't a conventional leader. He understood something absolutely crucial. If you can't win your opponent's game, you have to force them to play yours.
Henry knew this battle couldn't be won with brute strength. No way. It had to be won with strategy. He wasn't just going to fight the French army, he was going to fight the French idea of what a battle should be. And he was going to turn their greatest strengths into their most fatal weaknesses. His plan? It was brutally simple. And you know what? It was brutally effective. It all boiled down to 3 key steps. First, you control the ground. Second, you make the weather your best friend. And third, you double down hard on the one thing you do better than anyone else.
And this brings us to the 2 secret weapons the English had that day. One was basically a gift from Mother Nature. The other was a piece of game-changing technology. And together, these 2 things were about to dismantle the most powerful army in Europe. The night of October 24th, the heavens just opened up. A massive downpour completely soaked the freshly plowed field Henry had chosen for the battle. Now, this wasn't just rain. This was the foundation of the entire English strategy. It turned the battlefield into an absolute quagmire, a mud pit.
And this was the trap. See, the core of the French army was its heavy cavalry. These guys were the literal tanks of the 15th century. But in thick, sticky mud, their heavy armor became a death sentence. They couldn't move. They were stuck. Meanwhile, the lightly equipped English archers could practically dance across the terrain. The mud didn't just slow the French down, it completely neutralized their main advantage. Now, let's talk about that unique advantage. Of the 6,000 English soldiers, 5,000 of them were longbowmen. The English longbow was the most devastating weapon of its time. Think of it as a medieval machine gun. It could fire faster and farther than any other bow, and its arrows could punch right through armor. This was their secret weapon, their game changer.
So the stage is set. The French, brimming with overconfidence, charged across that muddy field. And what happened next? Well, it wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. And it was all over in less than 3 hours. The numbers are just mind-blowing. The French lost somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 men. This included a huge portion of their nobility. We're talking 3 dukes, 9 earls, the Constable of France himself. And the English, they lost around 400. It was a complete and utter decapitation of the French leadership. You know, this victory did way more than just win a battle. It forged a national identity. The spirit of Agincourt became this powerful idea that a small, determined group fighting smarts could triumph against any giant. It's a story England has told itself ever since. So, okay, why does the 600-year-old battle matter to you? Because we all face our own French armies, those overwhelming challenges in our work, our businesses, our personal lives. The principles, believe it or not, are exactly the same.
It's the question Henry V had to answer, and it's the exact same question we all face at some point. When you feel outmatched and out-resourced, what do? Do you try to fight their fight on their terms, or do you change the entire battlefield?
So here it is. Here's the Agincourt playbook for today. First, stop competing on your opponent's terms. Find the ground where you have the advantage. Second, identify your mud. What is it? Your competitor's slow bureaucracy? An outdated system you can innovate past? Turn that problem into a weapon. Third, what's your longbow? Your unique tech, your team's speed, your incredible customer service. Focus all your energy right there. And finally, use their size and their confidence against them. Let it become your greatest advantage.
So think about it. What's your Agincourt? What's the giant you're facing right now? Stop thinking about how strong they are and start thinking about the mud and your longbow. Because as Henry V proved, the right strategy doesn't just level the playing field, it tilts it entirely in your favor.